All right, Central Texas sports fans, welcome back to another webcast here on Statesman.com. I'm Danny Davis. This is Rick Cantu. We're here for this special webcast to talk realignment. Every 2 years, Rick, this is a big day. Today was no different. What stands out to you the most out of what came out of realignment today?
Well, the biggest thing that stands out to me is how many teams are now in Class 4A. A lot of the bigger schools, they lost enrollment because they've got newer schools in their area, and some schools lost some kids. For example, Conley's going back to 4A. Cedar Park is going to 4A. The new schools in the Leander ISD are going to be 4A. So there's going to be a lot of competition, and maybe the best competition locally is going to be in the 4A classification.
Who's the biggest winner on realignment?
I think the biggest winner is Connolly. They were in a District 25 5A with Austin High, Bowie, and Westlake, and they didn't fare very well in several sports. Now they're going back to 4A. They're going to be by far the biggest team in their area.
My vote's going to go to Del Valle. Del Valle was a surprise team last year, won a district championship in 4A. They're moving up to 5A, and a lot of questions were asked about how they do, where they go. Some rumors had them going up to that Williamson County district, which they would have been quite frankly overmatched in. But they got put in a 6-team district with those AISD schools. Westlake and Bowie are in that district, but for the last two playoff spots in football, they're going to be competing against an Aikens team that's struggling, Anderson and Austin High, which we don't really know what they're going to bring to the table next year. So Del Valle can compete for a football playoff spot in that district they're put in. And basketball-wise, going in, their basketball teams are either the best team or the second best team in those districts. So I think Del Valle really lucked out with where they're placed, and they should be competitive in all their sports the next couple of years. Who are the biggest losers as far as on realignment day?
I hate to call them a loser, but I think the biggest loser is Lago Vista. Not because they're a bad football program, but just because their travel is going to be outrageous. The closest district opponent for Lago Vista is almost 90 miles away. Every single road trip that they take is going to take at least an hour and a half to 2 hours just to get there.
Buses. My biggest loser, it's going to be actually the Hayes ISD schools. Last year, Hayes was able to compete for a district championship in a kind of weak district. Lehman was able to make a lot of huge strides. They went 5-5 last year, which was big for a program that's on the rise. This year they got stuck. Next year they're going to be stuck in a very competitive district: Alamo Heights, Schertz Clemens, New Braunfels Canyon, which is going to have a new coach who comes over from a winning school. So those schools that last couple of years they were able to get by in the bad district, they're going to have their work cut out for them, and Lehman might actually take a step back from the progress they made over the last couple of years. So that's all we have about realignment. Another busy day. Me and Rick both had to get back to our desks to write some stories that you can read tomorrow on Statesman.com and in our print edition. So check back with us next season when we actually see what realignment actually does on the field. Thanks for joining us.